So we are going to play.
And we're holding
schedule games
too.
Guys, we're going to go through the
to
schedule.
pee.
I'm going to give you a game. You tell me
No, I
if it's
just
a win
made
or
that up
loss.
to get out of
And
doing
keep a
this.
tally, and we will give you guys your final record at the end of the schedule game. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes.
Week 1
Dub.
at home against Dallas.
Dub.
That's a tough one. I've
Setting
been
the
on the
message.
fence on that all
Setting the
morning.
message. Dub.
I'm going to say win.
I'm gonna say
win.
all right, I'm gonna say win also.
3 dubs. Week 2 at Jacksonville.
I got a loss.
I do too.
Oh boy.
Dub.
Ooh.
Tyvis with 2 wins to start. Jason and Bull at 1-1. Week 3 at home against the Giants.
Jason, you go first on this one.
Well, that's the one I wanted them to open with week 1 because I thought that was the easiest win of all the teams, so I got to give them a win in that one.
Yeah, they better win that game. That's the easiest game on the schedule. On paper,
Tyvis.
I got to win.
This one's tricky for me because because of the fact that they D-line is really good.
And you don't beat. Obviously, nobody beats every team. They're better than.
Correct.
Or usually they don't.
I'm gonna give them a dub, but the next week I'm giving them an L.
At
So we'll start with
Vegas.
4. At Vegas, you're giving them an L, Tyvis.
I'm gonna give them an L.
Now, I understand putting them in a hotel the night before the game in Vegas. I probably need to be at a hotel the night before the game in Vegas.
Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins on the defensive line.
Yeah, I'm going to give them an L.
Gardner Minshew, right?
Yeah.
Probably their
Minshew.
starter.
Yeah. He
I'm
went
going the win for the Browns on that one.
And to round out the first
Dub. Don't
quasi-quarter
even do that.
at the Commanders.
Yeah, win.
I got the shocking upset there.
L.
Commanders win.
Commanders.
You're sick in the head.
So through 5 games, and what is everyone's record prediction
4
through
and
5?
1.
Tyvis is at 4-1, Jason's at 3-2, and Bull is at 3-2.
Next up, Steve, week 6 at Philadelphia.
Hold that L.
I got to win on that one.
Nick
Slight
Chubb
upset.
will be back that game. Their defense is in rebuild mode, meaning that as long as our defense can stop their offense, we should be able to win that game. I'm going to go with a dub.
At home, first AFC North game of the season against the Bengals. Bull?
Go
Or
ahead.
Jason?
I always feel like I have to pick the Browns when they play the Bengals.
Homer! Bull hates the Browns.
I have a hunch the Browns are going to lose that game, so I'm going to take the Bengals in that one.
I'm just going to cheat and say they're going to split the next 2. I don't care the order. 'cause
See, that's
this
where
is dumb.
I said the same thing. So I'm going to say they're going to win this one, lose the Ravens.
I say they lose to the Bengals, beat the Ravens.
I say this is dumb.
Give
spoil
Jason
sport.
a win against Cincinnati, a loss against Baltimore, for the record. All good. Okay, game number 9 at home against the Chargers.
Win.
Win against the Chargers, win against the bye.
You always want to go into that.
All right, so what's the record for all of us through 9
They're
games?
gonna
What is Tyvis picking?
Oh,
for?
Tyvis.
they're going to be extremely motivated to know that they get a bye after that. You don't want to go into that bye with a loss, so they're going to win that game.
So through 10 weeks, Ant, what's the score? What's the
Tyvis
record?
is 7-2, Jason is 6-4,
7-2.
That's impossible.
5-4, sorry, and then 6-3 for Bull.
You got the worst record so far.
Well, everyone
Interesting.
thinks I'm
Debbie
hate everyone,
Downer, that's
so
what you
Go
are.
ahead.
I guess
All right,
I got
next
to pick
up,
all
Steve.
wins the rest of the way now. Win.
Is that serious, Jason? Win.
You got 4
dubs?
wins?
We'll start with the
Give me
Saints.
3 wins.
I agree with that. I had 3 wins.
Well, no, we're going game by game.
Oh,
Don't just
the first.
I'm just trying to get
Saints.
this over
I'm
with.
going the first 3. The last one lost. Still last.
Saints win. We'll do it Mike's way.
Saints win.
Oh, Saints.
Everyone takes a Saints win. Versus the Steelers at home,
Win.
Win.
all across the board. At Denver, they lost in Denver last season.
Win.
They get their revenge.
Win.
Win.
And I got too many wins.
And then at Pittsburgh,
L.
Loss.
Loss.
all losses. So
10. What up? 10 and 3.
through 14 weeks, Ant, do you have an updated scorecard?
I got 10-3 for Tyvis. I have 7-6 for Jason, and then I have 8-4.
It can't be
for Bull.
7 and 6.
Well, you switched
Yeah,
your
why?
3
There's a
wins
bye.
mid debate.
But I was 1 game. Wasn't I 1 game up?
No, you're 1 game behind me.
All right, whatever. I don't care.
Math is not Anthony.
And I'm 8-5.
7-6. Woo-wee, Jason. You.
What was my record?
We have lost control with our counting system here. Anthony has lost track of.
But I think wasn't I like 5-4?
You were 5-4 through
So
9.
I should be 8-5 now.
He should be 8-5, which makes Bull 9-4.
Yeah, and Tyvis 10-3.
Tyvis 10-3.
I don't think they're going to be 9-4, even though I've predicted them to go 9-4.
All right, last 4.
I think they're going to be 8-5.
Y'all don't want to believe
At home
it.
versus the Chiefs.
Loss.
Win.
Wow.
At home?
Win. And this town will go nuts.
Oh my God, that would be
If
great.
Tyvis's predictions come through, beating the Chiefs in Week 15 to go 11-3 on the season
Oh my God.
would
can you
send
imagine?
Cleveland into a frenzy.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, Tyvis. At Cincinnati, Week 16.
Loss.
Loss.
3 losses. Sunday Night Football versus the Miami Dolphins here in Cleveland. Tua coming up to the cold.
Win.
Win.
Loss.
Ooh.
Loss for Tyvis. And then Week 18 to close it out.
Win.
Loss.
Win.
Loss.
Y'all some haters. Win.
So, Ant, are you back on track with your final tally?
12-5 for Tyvis. We've got
Race
10-7 for Jason, and then 10-7 for Bull.
Well, at least y'all.
That's what I think they're going to be.
Yeah.
10-7.
Well, at least y'all. Let's see. According to FanDuel, if you take the over 8.5 wins of the Cleveland Browns and you put it's minus 138,
8.5. That's their win
Yeah.
total.
I'll put 20 on.
We're
that
pretty
one.
close.
I mean,
14
yeah.
bucks.
What did you come up with, Mike, when you did it?
I had 10-7.
Yeah.
I did
That's
10-7.
that feels like
Y'all don't,
I had
cause y'all
10-7,
don't
but-
want to believe.
But
Y'all,
I can
still,
absolutely see.
y'all still got it in y'all
12
mind that the Browns is the Browns and they're gonna do the Browns thing.
if the Browns is the Browns, would we pick them to go 10-7?
They would be 7-10 if the
No.
Browns
What are
you
is
talking
the Browns.
about?
Y'all
You're
don't.
saying 10 you're
Y'all
saying-
ain't committed. Y'all don't see the vision. That's what it is. Y'all don't believe in number 4.
I
Y'all
mean-
don't think he gonna be that dude. But I'm telling you, right now, D. Watt is back.
What
I'm
did Earl-
telling you.
what did Earl
12-7. I mean
15-2?
12-5.
Earl, what's your season
Oh,
prediction
17-0.
schedule?
Earl's got him 18-0.
They wanted to buy.
I was clipping, but whatever Jason said, I'm riding with. Me and Jason locking step today.
18-0.
10-7.
18-0.
Earl looks disgusted when he found out you went 10-7.
I got the
I
Browns
mean,
winning 11.
How
11-12.
crazy do you have to be as a Browns fan to think we're insulting the team by predicting them to go 10-7?
10-7. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. They won 12 games last year in an unsustainable way, and they have a much tougher schedule on paper this year. Much tougher.
It's
They
the
won 11,
games that
11.
y'all said they would.
I'm sorry, they won 11 games last year.
They just don't sit right.
I
with
picked
them.
them to beat the Chiefs, but I'm the hater.
Oh, stop it. Nobody's a hater.
You had them lose.
I'm the hater.
They first games, you had them 3-2.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I had them beating the Cowboys in the opener.
Ridiculous? Tyvis, you know better than anybody.
It's ridiculous.
There's no easy games in the NFL.
That is a fact.
You've been hanging around with Garrett too long. You know that?
He hosts one Ultimate Brown show, and next thing you know, he's
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right?
T. Bush.
He's been infected.
The knee.
The knees.
Big picture, though, guys, when you
Yeah.
look at the layout of the Browns' schedule, do you enjoy the way it ended up coming to fruition with a backloaded schedule with some of the bigger time opponents and
Yeah.
primetime games in the last third of the season as opposed to earlier? Are you a fan of how this schedule played out?
I like the way that the schedule is laid out as far as, you know, having some nice tune-up games before you get into your division games. And I like the fact that some of those games the tough games are at the end for the simple fact that in football, injuries are 100%. It's the only sport that 100% you're going to get hurt. If it's later in the season, I don't know if it's going to be for the Browns good or not in their favor. But at some point, it's going to be some injuries that's going to affect the total outcome of these games. Later in the season, maybe if it is the Browns that's dealing with an injury, maybe by then they're healthier and we're able to have them. Or maybe the other team has some injuries and we're able to benefit from them. So I think I like it for that simple fact right there.
That's why I don't like the last month, for exactly what you just said. There are going to be injuries.
Well,
And-
from a fan's perspective, that's how you feel.
Well, you're right. You want to be playing your best football at the end of the season, 100%. But I just worry about who's healthy in those games. Like, guys are going to be really beat up. and you're going through the teeth of your schedule at the end when guys are really sort of banged up a little bit. So that's the only thing that concerns me.
And you know what I was thinking about with that final schedule? We've talked about so much on this show how Myles Garrett's play pretty much every year has gotten worse as the season has gone along.
Yeah. You need him.
They
at
are
his
going to
best.
need him for if Myles Garrett plays in December and January like he has the last few years,
They gonna go 0-4.
They could go 0-4 in those
Yeah,
games.
he'll go 0-4.
He's got to be September, October, early November. Myles Garrett.
Is this
in
a
December.
career thing for him where he
It
tails
is
off at the
100%.
end?
This is his career. These
Mike
are-
gave a big breakdown on the numbers.
Is that
during
updated with last year's numbers?
Yes.
I mean, look at that.
That's not good.
I mean,
But
that
yeah,
is crazy.
he's gonna be extremely motivated though.
Wasn't
He's
he last
extremely
year?
motivated every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a problem.
Who
with
did
motivation.
they play at? They didn't play nobody like that at the end, did they?
He was going for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
Trying to lock that up.
They got something there.
But I'll say this over the schedule. The negatives for the Browns, obviously, this has nothing to do with how the schedule was aligned, but it's just a very tough schedule on paper.
Yeah.
It's the
They
tough-
have-
it was the toughest one.
Now, I don't buy that because the only reason it's tougher than the Ravens is because they're playing the Ravens and the Ravens are playing them. You got to take out the head. If you take out the head between the Browns
they was
and
gonna have a
Ravens,
tough schedule anyway. The AFC North is the toughest division.
right, it is, no doubt. But they also have a stretch in the middle of the season where on the road 3 weeks in a row, which is tough. The things that are really good about the schedule, most of their weaker opponents are clumped together so they can get in some rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 3-game homestand followed by a bye, which is great to have a month where you don't have to travel right in the middle of the season. So their schedule is really, we always talk about judging a team in like quarters, and really, I mean, it was very noticeable. The first quarter, favorable. Second quarter, tough. Third quarter, favorable. Fourth quarter, brutal.
Yeah.
It is funny how it is, and I hate the 18 weeks because it's 5-5-4-4.
Right,
and
right.
For me as a OCD person, the graphic just looks out of place with the 4. But I do think this is a pretty tangible 4-part season, where, like you said, Bull, there's that
Yeah.
first 5-game stretch. Then you have the 4 games plus the bye. Then
Yeah.
you have the 4 games, 3 on the road, and then you close with the gauntlet, which really is a gauntlet at the end of the season.
And I think, like, if you look at even if you expand the end of the season to the last 6 games, in the last 6 games, you have 4 road games, and your only 2 home games are against Kansas City and Miami.
It's brutal.
I mean, that is because even weeks 13 and 14 at Denver
That's not a gimme.
and at Pittsburgh are
And
certainly no easy
Denver's
wins,
Monday Night
especially
Football
at
too,
Pittsburgh.
by the way.
Yeah,
it's gonna-
Denver's Monday night.
Monday Night Football.
Right, like it's tricky playing up in
And
Denver.
I feel like I think I've been there a lot. I mean, I only started hanging around the Browns in 2018, and I feel like I've been to Denver 4 times. They've
Yeah.
won maybe once.
I
Right.
feel
Last
like
year.
it
What's
is,
it like playing in Denver? Have you played there?
I was there.
What do you mean you were there?
I was on Denver's Peace
He played with Joe
Squad.
Flacco there, remember?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember Joe?
I remember now that you say it, but I had forgotten. So what is it like playing
I didn't.
there?
Well, the atmosphere is great. Their fan base is great.
No, but I
as
mean,
far
in
as
terms of
the
altitude.
altitude,
Yeah, like-
I told you, I didn't notice a
Yeah.
big difference. I know people come up there and they be having the oxygen tanks and having all that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't need all of
Didn't
that. To me,
affect you at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can't.
One last
everybody
observation on
can't
the
beat
schedule.
me. So
Yeah.
In terms of getting off to a hot start, when you look at Deshaun coming off the shoulder injury, when you look at all the new moving pieces to this offense, potentially new play caller, they brought in Jerry Jeudy, offensive line changes.
To be fair, in terms of personnel, the offense is mostly the same.
Personnel-wise, but
Yeah.
philosophy-wise, could be very
Well,
different.
maybe, yeah.
Could be.
somewhat.
That's why I say
the
could.
coaching will be different.
Right.
No,
But most of the personnel is the same.
For the, like I said, for the most part.
Some of the running backs have
Judy
changed.
came in,
and-
shoved the
Judy,
running
but-
backs.
I just want to see the running game. I want to see because Bill Callahan was the run game coordinator. So now
Right.
they had Ken Dorsey's coming in here and he's calling it his stuff.
Yeah.
What is his run game look like? Because with Buffalo, it was non-existent. They didn't have Josh
No.
Allen was the running back. So
Right.
now I want to see what it looks like now that you have when Nick Chubb comes back. How do you include that? Because this is a part that even with Carolina when he dealt with Cam Newton, who was they running back then?
D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart.
Okay, so they had a two-headed monster there. Okay, that means he's had some experience with running. I just
Yeah, I
wanna
mean,
see
they
what it
threw
looks
the
like.
ball more than any other
Yeah,
team.
well,
even
that we
Buffalo.
know they're gonna throw the
Yeah.
ball more than anybody. But the run game to me is still gonna be,
Yeah.
especially in December, that last part. You gotta be able to run the ball.
Yeah, and running Deshaun Watson a lot, I don't
not-
think is a good idea.
I don't. What did I predict he was gonna have rushing 500 yards
Last year?
this year?
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. You had a little
I
big
said
number.
like 500 yards
That's a
rushing.
lot. That's a lot.
You see, you go look at Josh Allen and go look at Cam Newton.
I know.
Josh
Nah,
Allen
no.
weighs, what, 50 pounds more than Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun better go. He better go to lefties every day and eat some cheesesteaks.
I don't think he wants that kind of weight.
He better do
No?
something. He better do something.
Bull,
But-
you're here tomorrow, so don't answer this question.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about this tomorrow. But Jason and Tyvis, when you look at the schedule top to bottom, does one game in particular stand out as the one you're looking most forward to?
Chiefs.
That's a cop out.
Why?
Because everybody's looking forward to the
Okay.
Chiefs.
But how often do the Browns get them at home? Like they were there a couple years ago.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's cool. I get what you're saying. It's an easy choice.
Yeah.
But
Okay, Cowboys. How about that?
I like that one
That's-
because
well,
I agree.
what's the diff-
I agree with
what's
you.
the difference?
It's America's team.
Oh Lord.
Nationally
that's
televised. Tom
bullshit.
Brady's first broadcast.
yeah.
You get the national recognition.
You aren't gonna.
Like I say,
you ain't gonna bully me into taking the Cowboys.
The
Chiefs.
Browns,
Give me the Chiefs.
We sit up here, our fan base. Why don't they get national recognition? Why don't no national media ever talk about the Cleveland Browns? They are literally giving you a chance
Yeah.
to start the season off to be on the map, to be the hottest topic. And
Yep.
if you go out there and it's a good Dallas team, I'm looking
You'll have
forward
Stephen A. Smith
Week
going,
one.
the New York Knicks. Oh,
And the Cowboys are in the NFC and are totally irrelevant to the Browns' playoff chances, other than the head-to-head matchup.
Why not the Dolphins then?
Because I want the Chiefs. You are not going to bully me off the Chiefs.
Let me see the
Chiefs.
let me see the rest of the schedule again. It's got to be something else.
We
better
have
than
to
the
take
Chiefs.
Commanders,
No,
Giants. Is that what
No.
you're looking forward to? The Giants. That's a barn burner.
Mike is.
I'm sure Mike is.
Not really.
You don't want to see your.
Mike was all aggravated about that awful uniforms that the
That
Giants
was
wear
the
this
Giants'
year.
uniform was hideous.
By the way, those are bad, but not the worst. The worst ever are
The
the throwback
Bumblebees-
Steeler jerseys.
Yes, people
Oh,
kept
the
tweeting
Bumblebee
that.
one?
That one was terrible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Like prison
Green Bay
uniforms.
Packers one was terrible.
Yeah.
And the Chicago Bears one was terrible.
I like the throwback Seahawks uniforms that they wore in the last couple,
old
like to the
school.
Jim Zorn days.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, those are sweet.
Those were great.
It's either the Chiefs. Or the Dallas.
Oh, you're going to seriously?
It's only
After
two-
all that,
it's
you're
only-
going to come around and tell me Chiefs. No,
only-
you're not
no, no,
allowed to take them. Chiefs are mine. You got to pick something else. You can't have it.
By the way,
After all that. Oh, yeah, pray the Chiefs.
did you guys watch the Browns schedule release video? No.
I didn't even see the schedule
All right,
until 20
Tyvis,
minutes
did you
ago.
watch it?
No, I was busy on air with Anthony
Mike,
going
did
over.
you watch
How
it?
could I watch it?
Yeah, I like Pete Weber at the end. That's a nice.
Is
little
Pete
touch.
Weber from Ohio?
I don't
Is he
know.
from
I don't
Cleveland?
care.
Do you
He's
know
still-
the bowler?
I have no idea.
I actually thought that was the only part I didn't like about it.
Was Pete Weber the guy I am who you
Yes.
thought?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
I am
him?
who you thought I was.
I
Yeah.
thought they should have ended it before that, but I thought the rest of the video was extremely creative.
Oh, you know what? I saw a clip of it. I did
Okay.
actually did see because I saw like Deshaun with a bowling ball or something.
Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I didn't
thought-
see. I didn't see the whole thing.
I don't remember what theirs was last year, but I remember thinking
it was
sucked.
bad. It was the anime wrestling.
Oh, yeah, it was awful. I thought the Browns, it was the second, I would say the second or third best one that I saw. I didn't see them all, but I saw a lot of them. I thought it was great. I love that they, made fun of the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers. Like, with the Bengals, they had a dopey guy dressed up in, like, Bengals attire throwing a gutter ball.
Okay.
For the Ravens, it was like a purse or something. I don't remember what it was, but they threw it in the garbage. And so they were making fun of all these teams. I'll tell you something. Well, first of all, the one the Titans did last year, if you remember, where they interviewed people.
Exquisite. Yes. Showed them pictures of the logo, right? Making
Right,
a guess.
and they said stupid things.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of the girls who said the stupid things is Pretty Little Blonde. She was like the host for it this year, and she was asking people, and it was extremely funny, right, Mike?
Yeah, it was good. It was the original one was obviously went stupid mega viral.
Yeah.
And this one was equally as funny.
I thought it was hilarious. I'll tell you two others that were good. The Ravens and the Steelers. Bengals sucked. It was the worst one I saw. I thought the Falcons was pretty stupid,
Poverty
too.
franchise.
Poverty franchise, the Bengals. Theirs was stupid. But the Ravens and the Steelers were both very creative. And the Steeler one, did you watch either of those, Mike?
I did not see the Ravens or Steelers, I'll be honest.
The Steelers one has a bunch of different Steeler players telling dad jokes to James Harrison to try to make him laugh.
That's funny.
It was really funny.
Did he laugh?
Of course, he did not laugh.
That's funny.
Were you watching these at 4 in the morning? When do you have time?
No,
to
that I
watch
did
all
not
these
watch at
things?
4 in the morning. That I watched, well, right before I came in today. I was like, okay, we're going to talk about these videos, so let me watch it.
So be responsible.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm looking.